There we go. Gas brake. Alright, hold on a second. I'm gonna have to pause the stream. Zoom. Alright, there we go. So, real quick, just gotta do one thing. Create a studio. Live streaming. And copy URL. Alright, got that all sorted out. So what we're going to be racing tonight is the DW12s at the from the IndyCar series. This in particular was released a few years ago as a beta. Well, actually, it wasn't a beta. My apologies. But it was released long time ago, back in 2012, I think. 2012 or 2013, actually, now that I think about it. And this is, unfortunately, this mod really hasn't grown much as I personally would like it to. But it still is a really fun mod. So we did do a couple of edits to the car and to the whole thing. We're going to be running the, I don't exactly know where this car pack came from, but we're going to be racing the Indy cars from last season in the event here. So we've got full pace lap, yellow flags, double file restarts, realistic weather, realistic damage, 30 minutes of practice time, which is fine, 20 minutes of happy hour, and 200 laps. Pit stop frequency, I think I'm going to bump up to ×2. And the only thing I think I'm going to adjust a little bit is I'm going to drop the manual AI strength to 93. I found that when I run it at 95, they usually can just like really pull ahead. And normally, I would do auto, which is just based off of previous results. Unfortunately, I don't have any laps on this particular configuration of Indianapolis, so that kind of stinks. So, we're going to get practice up. There we go. Got the engine running. Alright, let's go ahead and get in the cockpit view. So we're going to be racing as Charlie Kimball, my favorite IndyCar driver. One of my favorite IndyCar drivers. In his number 42 machine from last season. I do miss the days when he ran the orange and blue Novolog Novaflex pen machine. But you know what? New sponsorship. He brings new chances and everything. And we are going to run cockpit, actually. We are going to run cockpit the entire event. There is two things I am going to have to adjust real quick on my wheel. Number one, I just remembered that my stick shift is still active for shifting. We want to put that on the buttons on the back to be our paddle shifters, which that's definitely important. And I feel that if I turn off my mirrors, that's actually going to help with the frame rate quite a bit. But the problem is I can't see behind me then. So I'm going to go ahead, pull off. Oh boy. This is going to hurt. That was a hard lick. Okay. Return to pit. Options real quick. Escape. That'll do. Clutch is fine. Brake is fine. Shift up. Shift down. That's fine. Interlock brakes, automatic clutch, and stability control are the only three things I have turned on. Force feedback is turned off as well. Car quality, I think I'm going to drop that down to medium to help with frame rate. Mirror quality, medium. Road quality, I want to see what medium looks like. Trackside objects, that's fine. Opponent pit cruise, I kind of want to leave that kind of high. And then normal there. I've really got nothing in terms of solar effects or such like that on, and hopefully that should improve the frame rate at least a little bit. So yeah. Let's go ahead and jump onto YouTube real quick. And here we go. So I'm going to have that open. There we go. Alright, so let's go ahead and get back into practice. Let's see here. I think in terms of gearing and everything, we're actually in pretty good condition. So let's just go ahead and hit pause and get back out on the track. So they do have a speed limit here, 55 miles per hour, which is good to know, especially for when we start the race in a little bit. Now, the interesting thing is this track is designed specific... Oh, dear God, that bump. That bump just threw me all over. Oh, boy, got real wiggly. This track is specifically designed for IndyCar. It's intended for any type of IndyCar. NASCARs, I think, could probably run here, but the physics set is so different. This works really, really well with PTA physics, which is what the IndyCars are. Alright, so the frame rate does take a bit of a dip in turn 4, which isn't... I mean, it could be worse. It could definitely be worse. Now, the big wonder that I have, and I think this is where it's going to nip us a little bit, because they don't have the whole adaptive AI so that they slow up when I slow up and everything like that. That's probably going to hurt me in the long run in terms of keeping up and staying in position. That's where just being fast and smooth is going to come into play. Let's take a quick look. 29 laps sounds about right. Sounds about right for an Indy car. Maybe a little bit less. I mean, it's a little bit too much is the thing. But in terms of AI drivers that we're going to be going up against, we got J.R. Hildebrand slipped up there big time. So Townsend Bell, J.R. Hildebrand, Simon Pagano, the late Brian Clausen, James Hinchcliffe, Scott Dixon, Ed Carpenter, Marco Andretti, Carlos Munoz, Helio Castronieves, Sage Karam, Ryan Hunter-Ray, Alexander Rossi, who won the race last year, Joseph Newgarden, Will Power, Simon Peugeot, Gary Chavez, Takuma Sato, Pippa Mann, Oral Servia, Alex Tagliani, Sebastian Bourdais, Colin Daly, Max Chilton, Matt Brabham, sorry, Buddy Lazier. Oh dear, that hit. That was a big hit. Alright, I think I'm actually going to do two things. I think I'm going to drop the AI a little bit, or at least go and turn on the speed control. Yeah, I'll just do that. I want it to be competitive, don't get me wrong. But I do want to also at least have a bit of a chance. Because really, if you get these cars in the draft, it should be pretty quick. So they're going to give us 4 laps to qualify. I'm just going to get right into it and just start qualifying. So, myself in the 42, Scott Dixon, Townsend Bell, Marco Andretti, Juan Pablo Montoya, who I think is not racing full-time this year. I think he is going to race in the Indy 500, though. Will Power, Simon Pagano, Ryan Hunter-Ray, Tony Kanaan, Carlos Munoz, Ilya Nieves, James Hinchcliffe, Ed Carpenter, Joseph Newgarden, Jack Hawksworth, that's another driver I forgot to mention, Mikhail Loshin, Graham Rahal, Earl Servia, J.R. Hildebrand, Takuma Sato, Max Chilton, Sage Karam, Alex Tagliani, Sebastian Bourdais, Alexander Rossi, Matt Brabham, Stefan Wilson, Simon Piggott, Buddy Lazier, Connor Daly, Gabby Chavez, Brian Clausen. Those are all the drivers that are going to be racing. Now, right now, at least from what I'm seeing, kind of, I'm going to flip my gauges. I can't see my gauges at the moment. I'm topping out at 108. 109. I'm topping out at 109 miles an hour, and I should be able to rev the engine up just a little bit higher. I'm wondering if I bump it up to 6th, even if it's going to kill my corner speed, which I really don't want that to happen. I got a few laps to figure this out, so... Slowest on the board. A lap like that would not get me into the 500. Well, it feels a little bit better in 6th gear. And yes, I do know that I'm recording this on April 30th. I know April 1st doesn't start until tomorrow. But I am interested, at the very least, of like kind of getting into the mood. So, we did a bit of a better lap there. We're still dead last, but we shaved a whole second off of our time. Somehow I think that probably what has to change on the car is probably going to be gearing somewhere. Before you do ask me, or if anyone does ask, I do actually have a couple of IndyCar related games, or IndyCar games in general, that I could sort of play, that maybe as we get closer to Indy. There's just two things to it. Number one, the PS2 game IndyCar Series, which I have. That was a slightly better lap, not much. I am just so slow. Dang. Okay, IndyCar Series. It's a fun game. It's kind of difficult, but it is fun. And it has the entire 2002 campaign, I think, of the IndyCar Series. And the driver I would pick for that is either going to be Sam Hornish or Scott Sharp. That's it. Sam Hornish or Scott Sharp. Because they were my favorite drivers back in the day. Only problem is, there's no wheel support in the game, which really, really sucks. Another game that I do have is IndyCar, let's see here, IndyCar Racing 2 for PC, The problem is I don't have a copy of Windows XP or Windows 98, I guess, to get the game to actually run. So, not exactly happy about that. I've tried to get it to work, and it seems to me that the only way that you could ever really get it to work is through a DOS box or such. And unfortunately, I don't know much about emulation software for operating systems. I know a little bit of emulation for games, but that's about it. And unfortunately, IndyCar Racing 2 is a PC exclusive. The last game that I can mention is Indianapolis 500 Legends, which is a Wii title. I actually do have a little bit of video on that from years and years ago, before I had my capture card or anything else like that. Only problem is, with that being said, I would have to play on a Wii, and I don't have component cables to hook up from the Wii to my capture card, so I'm kind of stuck there as well. I'm going to go ahead and look into the garage, and I want to see something. So, I don't think that the suspension is wrong by any means. Race, I kind of wonder if that's what I need to run, and not easy. I want to see what this fast setup's like. Let's see here, drivetrain and aero. We want as much low spoiler as we can. And I'm gonna just see what this feels like. I'm gonna see if we can go any faster. So we're starting, I mean, we're dead. We are dead last in the last box, so that's gonna really hurt. It's gonna help us when we go into pit lane, but it's gonna hurt us. Like, if we had to pit on the last lap, for example, we're screwed. We would be so screwed. Just to tell you another thing, just another fact, I guess. The last Indy 500 that I saw from flag to flag, oh geez, was actually, funny enough, the guy who just drove in front of us, Juan Pablo Montoya, when he won in, I want to say 2014, but I don't feel that that's right for some reason. 2014 or 2015 is when he won. I did not get to see any of last year's 500. I really only got to see like the last 20 seconds. And it was actually after the race had ended, so I didn't get to watch anything live, which sucks. Because my work schedule is like, oh yeah, this actually feels, oh god. Oh boy. That is scary. That was a very scary accident. I kind of wanted to see what happened. So, who did we clip? Oh god, that was a sharp turn. That looks like board. Yeah. You know, I just didn't hear my spotter, and my spotter didn't warn me, and I just clipped him, and then, man, what a sharp hit. I hope we don't see any of that when we see the 500 this year. Limit 55. Keep it under 4,000 seconds. Now, because we're Ganassi, we're racing with Ganassi's equipment. Although I don't think in reality, like, if you trash your car, unless you have a backup, I don't think you can run the 500. And if you trash your backup, you're done. Alright, let's get into the gas. So one story that I've actually wanted to tell for the longest time now, and unfortunately I feel like I may have told this story when I was when I did the R Factor stream about a few weeks ago or so. How I met Charlie Kimball. I want to tell the story real quick while I got time. I actually had to go into the hospital in 2013 for lung issues. As some of you may know, in our community, at least that I race against, I have cystic fibrosis. It causes my lungs to get gunked up and everything like that. Oh geez, Takuma. Right in the wall again. Dang. And I just took out Hildebrand. Oh, God. Oh, God. Alright, back to pits. Anyway. So, I had to go to the hospital in 2013, I want to say. 2013 or 2014. And, the interesting thing is that the hospital brought me up a sheet of paper that said, hey, these people are coming in to spend time with the children. Now, at the time, I was a member of Children's Hospital. I was a patient there. When I turned... And I stopped going to Children's when I turned 21, so... I started going to my primary care physician and hospital now. Like, just about a year ago. Oh god, wiggly loose, wiggly loose. That was not what I wanted to do. I'll give the outside line more than enough room to see. Anyway. Because I was in Children's, people would come in every now and then. Well, they gave me a list, and it's like, hey, this person, this person, this person, this person's coming in. And the one name that I mentioned, or that I saw on there that I recognized was Charlie Kimball. And I've been a big fan of IndyCar since like 2003 or so? I want to say 2003 at least. Oh yeah, this setup actually feels so much better. It's loose. It's really, really loose, but it's within contention. You can run 5th gear here and it'll stick. You still pull away, but you jump it up to 6th and you can kind of wrangle them back in. I think it's because it's cloudy as well. Anyway, so Charlie was coming in on like a Wednesday, I think. And I was like, super cool. The last IndyCar driver I met was Sam Hornish Jr. And prior to that was Paul Dana. You know, this guy's pretty cool. I know about his story a little bit. So yeah. So one thing that they did was, like, for all the kids that could not meet him in person, they have a thing where you can call in and you can ask questions and everything like that. And I sat down and recorded my conversation with him. But I essentially said, like, you know, how does it feel, or what was it like growing up and, you know, becoming a racer? And I mentioned, like, I think the biggest thing that you can really draw from Kimball is, like, you know, as someone, as he who has type 1 diabetes, you know, I think it's really impressive that he manages to race for a living and doesn't let his condition really hinder him. It's a really good way, especially for children who have their own physical limitations and illnesses, that they can look at and say, hey, you know, if this guy can do something as cool as racing a race car, maybe I can become a painter, or maybe I can become a musician. You know, it gives kids hope, and I think that's just great. And the awareness that he's brought upon to type 1 diabetes, and even in my life as someone who's kind of on a diabetes spectrum, of a different type, with cystic fibrosis at least, it's kind of given me clarity to my own life. So, you know, Charlie just seems like a really, really cool guy, and just really, really nice as well. But anyway, so talked to Charlie over the phone, in the studio, like 5 floors below where I was. And then after the interview and everything like that was over with the kids and such, now my problem is because of some of the bugs that I have in my lungs, I can't exactly go out and about all on my own. So Charlie came up to my room, and he stood at the door, and I sat at my bed, and we talked for like maybe about a good 10, 12 minutes or so. I asked him about, like, how was he feeling ahead for, I think that they were going to race at Barber Motorsports Park next, and how he thought the car would feel, how it feels to race with, I think, well, Scott Dixon still races there. I think at the time Franchitti was either still racing or TK just got signed on. to replace Tony. To replace Dario, I'm sorry. So yeah, it was just a really cool time to like sit down and talk with him. I got a photo with him. I got a personalized autograph on a hero card. I was surprised to find out that his birthday actually is not that deeply removed from my own, which is cool. So we're both February babies, which is kind of cool. And just a real good guy. And I've rooted for him since. I think he's definitely got a lot of talent. And with his third place finish, like at the 500 back when Montoya won, I was like impressed. I think that maybe if given more time, he could have won the race. But you know what? That's okay. He's a good racer when it comes to it, and I certainly wish him a great 2017 campaign. I know he didn't do great at Phoenix last night. I think top 10. And Pagano went out and kicked everyone's butts. But yeah, Charlie, I'm pulling for you. I really hope that you do some magic when you go to the Indy 500 in May and maybe go out and win the thing. If not, then go out there and get a top 5, top 10. It's a big event. So, car is handling okay. Feels better in the draft because it gives me a key onto who I can stay with and everything. I'm unfortunately not really kind of like getting anyone in on me. And Hawksworth is 25th, so it's not really that big of a thing. So, one other thing that I do want to tell you about here coming up in the future. Unfortunately, I did miss today's very first event, but in the upcoming time, we're going to be doing a Formula 1 series. So, my friend Schwal, who you've seen race in other leagues, he started up he's participating. One of the NR members created a Formula 1 league. And I signed up, I created a car, I have a teammate car but no driver yet. But I completely forgot that we were doing the very first race tonight. All because I work on Sundays, I got tired, I had to eat lunch because I hadn't eaten anything today. And I spaced out and I forgot about it. So, around like 4:30ish or so, on Sundays now, we're going to be racing F1 cars. Next race is the Chinese Grand Prix, which I think will be interesting. I'm not really good at Formula 1, which sucks. I played Formula 1 2013, I'm not good at that. I've played Formula 1 2011, I played Formula 1 Career Challenge on the PS2. I'm not good at F1 in any spectrum. But I like it. I think that I can at least go out there and have fun. So, and I don't exactly know coming up if there's going to be any NR races that are going to have an Indy 500, but I can guarantee you if something like that would occur, I'm going to try my best to get myself a car painted and hopefully find a template of one of these open wheel super speedway cars, and I'm going to make a very nice car. Water temperature high, that's not good. My water temperature is very high. I'm surprised that it actually gives me an LED readout of water temp. Gives me my fuel. I think that's my oil pressure in the left corner, but water temperature's high. And this is a scary thing, because my engine in GN55 on Friday expired like 16 laps in. And it just, oh god, it frustrated me so much. It was a 40 lap race and my engine expires like 16 in, and I couldn't get back on the track. Engine was just gone. Alright, so now that we know that water temperature may be an issue, we're going to have to keep that in mind. What is our grill tape even set for? It's not high, it's only at 63%. Alright, let's, we've got some repairs to do, so they're maybe going to work on the engine.
Limit 55. Keep it under 4,000 in seconds.
There is no form of pit speed limiter. Uh-oh. Ah, crap. Alright, shift R. Alright, how much time we got left on the clock? We only got 4 minutes. Well, let's do this. I'm going to jump out to the head cam, because I want to see something. Is it just by drafting the water temperature just skyrockets and boils? Or is it just the setup? Because the problem is, we adjust the setup in terms of the engine, we're going to lose speed. If it's just drafting that's causing the oil or the water temperature to rise, we can jump out of the draft and race. We just have to be really mindful of it. So yeah, unfortunately one thing with kind of all IndyCar sets, which sucks, is the car kind of does sink into the ground a fair amount. I know without a doubt coming out of the into the second turn out of pit lane is going to be so hard for me. Alright, 5th gear, we're good. I have no real reason to swap out up until 6 until I let someone get by me and I can get in the draft. That's Helio in the 3 Pennzoil machine. I can see that needle rising. So I'm thinking that just by being in the draft, it's going to cause it to rise really quick. Oh dear, we're sideways, we're airborne. Oh, man, what a hit. Okay.
Keep it under 55. Keep it under 4,000 in seconds. Watch that speed now. Keep it on 4,000.
It's not going to penalize me. I'm already in last, so... So, yeah, it's not good news that this water temperature gauge is just going to gain and gain and gain when you're in the draft. It's not a happy feeling. Flip the wall. Maybe it's in 6th gear and in the draft when it really starts to climb. Problem is you kind of have to be in 6th gear in order to draft anyway. The engine just revs out and it won't go any higher in 5th. Yeah, unfortunately I don't know much about fine-tuning an IndyCar or anything like that. See, we're in 5th gear, we got up to 212 and then it just started, and then our tachometer just started revving. Wow, water, jeez. What? I don't understand what's up with the water pressure. I can only think of, like, the only thing I can think of doing is just specifically changing the settings on the grill tape. That's it. I can't... I mean, this is an IndyCar, but it still is using the NASCAR design engine, which, you know, whatever, but this engine should not crank out so much heat like this. It just shouldn't. And I think it's interesting because we kind of had the same thing happen in the pre-race R-Factor stream. Is I think something in the cooling system broke and it caused the engine to just go kaput. So to have it happen in NR, like, this is not good news. And the problem is if we remove more tape, in turn what's going to happen is the downforce on the nose is just going to, it's not going to stick as well. And we need downforce. That's the biggest thing. Downforce is of key importance in an Indy car, especially Indianapolis. More downforce you got, the more speed you can generate. Yeah, it's just that needle was climbing and climbing and climbing, and I just dropped it down to 5th, and I feel like it's shrinking. Alright, well that's it. I mean, I can't do much else. It's either the engine's just gonna blow like 20 laps in, I'm gonna have to make final adjustments before a race start and kind of do guesswork on there. The frustrating thing is I had kind of the same thing happen to me when I was doing a personal offline race, just like this, but at Daytona, racing in the ARCA series. I cranked up Bobby Gerhardt's tape so high that I think in a 30-lap event I blew the engine with like 10 to go. Alright. I got less than 300 seconds to make a final adjustment. That is not where I wanted to go. So used to going into the options. Alright, let's look here. One last time. Grill tape at 65. Differential ratio. I mean, the engine feels good all in all. The weight bias isn't really an issue. I mean, the only thing that I can think of is cranking 6 up just a tick higher or so, and 5th as well. But I don't know. I almost don't want to make the adjustment. Grill tape. You know what? Let's do this. Let's drop the grill tape to 55. Let's save it as. And let's call this Indy 500 test DW12 43017. Since that's the date that we're making this. So we removed 10% grill tape, and let's see how that does for us. Because the goal is we want to make it all 500 miles. That's the key thing here. Let's go ahead and start off with the starting order. We got James Hinchcliffe in first, Townsend Bell in second, Ryan Hunter-Reay third, fourth Juan Pablo Montoya, fifth Marco Andretti, sixth Tony Kanaan, seventh Helio Castroneves, eighth Will Power, ninth Joseph Newgarden, 10th Ed Carpenter, 11th Simon Pagino, 12th Scott Dixon, 13th Carlos Munoz, 14th Mikhail Loshin, 15th Oral Servia, 16th Jack Hawksworth, 17th Max Chilton, 18th J.R. Hildebrand, 19th Sebastian Bourdais, 20th Alexander Rossi, 21st Alex Tagliani, 22nd Takuma Sato, 23rd Graham Rahal, 24th Sage Karam, 25th Matt Brabham, 26th Buddy Lazier, 27th Connor Daly, 28th Gabby Chavez, 29th Brian Clausen, 30th Pippa Mann, 31st Simon Piggott, and 32nd Stefan Wilson, and 33rd myself. So how is this gonna go? I don't know. I want to go through this race from beginning to end, and I want to succeed. I want to do well. I don't expect to win. I don't think that the car can push it hard enough. We got 73 degrees air temperature. I think the tires are at 115 to 118 in terms of temperature, so they're cold, but they'll stick at the beginning. Then they shouldn't wear too bad. And wind at 3 degrees 3 miles per hour northwest. Alright. Gonna start in second. Alright, here we go. 200 laps. Fifth gear. Climbing. Sixth gear. As high as we can go. Stick, stick, stick. Feels back end just feels loose. Okay, we got a crazy crash. We're gonna nip the inside wall a little bit. Oh, we're not gonna be starting dead last, or not gonna be finishing dead last after that event. Wow. I really do wonder what happened.
Inside. Keep high. Okay, we're under caution. Catch up to the end of the pacing line. 1 minute, 3.669. Stay behind the 25 car.
I don't think the 25 is going to be racing anymore. 25, I think, is done. My wonder is, what the heck happened? So Stefan Wilson, unfortunately, is going to be knocked out. Oh boy, Helio's out. Or at least he's knocked low. If he's not... Yeah, Helio's out. There's dirt flinging up from the back end of one car. Went through the inner strip. I'm not going to make a pit stop yet. Not on this initial lap, at least. Well, you know what? Maybe if I take the lead, maybe I can do something.
1 minute, 8.918. You're in fifth.
And that's going to put us up into first. That's amazing. I somehow have a feeling that the AI are kind of programmed that every caution period, they're going to make a pit stop. So I'm going to put the engine into clutch, save just a little bit of gas. It's not going to matter in the long run, really, but we got so many laps to go. Part of me wants to make just minor adjustments. I don't know. The wedge, I almost feel is fine. It's just, I don't know, like the car feels like it's got just a little bit too much steering to it. And I don't know what the grill tape situation is going to be like when we're in the draft yet, so I haven't had enough time to test it. So either we're going to be lighting up our engine and it's going to be saying, hey, water temperature high, or what, but I don't know. I don't know what to do. The AI's tough. I mean, that much is true. But hey, if anything else, I actually get to lead a lap, so yay. That's what all objects off looks like. Medium, large. Let's just do medium.
We're going green next time by. Okay, we're on the lead lap. Stay on the outside line. 1 minute, 15.
Alright, so one last thing I want to check before we go green. How many? So Kanan is out, Aloshin's out, Ray Hall's out, Andretti's out, Lazier's out, Bell's out, Castronieves is out. Kanan with the clutch, and everyone else is either retired or just accident, so now we only got 26 racers in the field. That's insane. Alright, so we're coasting around at about 70, 71 miles an hour. I want to give the pace car a little bit of air to breathe before I really push the throttle in. Because the last thing I want to do is get a black flag for passing the pace car before the start and finish line. So the problem that I see, at least right now, is I've got, Carlos Munoz and a pack of hungry other cars right behind me. And somehow I think that while I may be able to get a decent restart, they're going to be able to smoke me when we really get up to speed and probably chew me out in the backstretch, if not by turn 3 here. Now I think normally by here the pace car would have dropped down and the Indy cars would have been going up to at least 105 miles an hour and get close up to their racing speed almost by the time they get to the start and finish line. Alright. I gotta wait. I need to find out where this restart box is. So just before the last caution light coming to the start and finish line, stick it to the inside. They're gonna oh dear. That's it. That's the end of our day. I just got a gap opened and then the gap closed. And I was actually going to let the guys on the outside and inside get by me, but that's it. That's the end of the race, and dang. We barely got anything done. Shoot. Alright. I do want to see what happened on that very first lap. So, let's backtrack to lap 1. See kind of what happened up front. So they're going down the backstretch on the very first lap. I almost feel like someone maybe got chopped and bumped and spun down to the inside. So they bobble up there. What happened? Oh my gosh. Oh man. So that's what happened. So that was stupid of the AI, but so let's see here. They went 4 wide, and Ryan Hunter-Ray gets bumped by Carlos Munoz, and then the 5 hits the wall, and the 27, I think that's Marco Andretti, just goes rolling out of the stretch and takes like everyone else out. Good grief. I'm surprised Rossi managed to get through that. Let's see here from the 10. Where else does this continue? Because it was just like the entire middle pack. So after the front 2 leaders crash, then it congests itself so much, and everyone. Oh, Rossi got a good point of that. Yeah. Okay, that's the wreck. Big wreck, but a wreck nevertheless. So yeah, they're not going to be able to repair this. Alright, I'm going to retire. I'm going to go back. No. I'll accelerate the race so I can get to the end of it. And we'll watch the standings as it goes on. Hinchcliffe. Decelerate. Interesting. So Hinchcliffe is still going to be on top. Race is green because the laps are going by faster. We got a good amount of cars going a lap down here. And we're not even at lap 100. Hinchcliffe is just on a roll. Hildebrand is fighting it out with Hinchcliffe. Lap 70 and climbing. A lap down and climbing for 5th on back. Is anyone else gonna have an issue where the engine expires or so? Lap 100's complete. 78, 79. There's a yellow. Hinchcliffe is the only one on the lead. Wow. Strong AI, at least strong ratings programmed into these guys. It looks like by the end of it, it's going to be Hinchcliffe winning. Another yellow. Kumasada lost his gearbox. 195, 197, 189, 200 complete. Hinchcliffe wins by a full lap. And only 11 cars finish the event. Wow. Okay. Alright, so time to do a tiny bit of adjustment. I'm going to drop the AI down to... let's try 88. Let's do this. I'm going to do this one more time. All things considered, the car is actually pretty fast for the most part. It's just slippery. Just a little bit slippery. So yeah. So that's what we'll run. There's one thing... No, actually, yeah, let's just go into race. So we're starting dead last again. Oh, crud, I forgot something. Let's just go back to happy hour, because I need to go into the garage and put the setup in. Setup's already in, so we're good there. And now we can go ahead and race. Just a quick double check. Yep. So in terms of drivers who I think is eventually going to win a 500, and Simon Pagenaud's on the pole, which is not a big surprise to me. I honestly think the best driver that's probably going to win the 500 this year, provided the engine doesn't let go, it has got to be Simon Pagenaud. Pagenaud actually ran really, really well in his first run with Penske. He ran... I can't remember if he was teammate with Montoya yet, or if he was almost. But the point is Pagenaud has done well at Indy. So, there's that. He won at Phoenix last night, and he's really solid. And the only way that I can really see something biting Pagenaud in the butt this year at the 500 is really just either the engine going up in smoke or something failing in the engine, or I don't know, pit stop miscommunication and just drops back to the field. Pagenaud's fast. Pagenaud is really, really good, and I'm kind of glad that we have such a solid driver in the IndyCar series. Like, I know that there's a lot of drivers that really dominate the series. Scott Dixon is a good example. Franchitti, for the longest time when he was with Andretti and when he was with Ganassi, he kicked everyone's butt. You know, those guys are good racers and everything. It's just amazing to see such young talent in Pagenaud and go and just do so well. And just to go out and win the championship like he did last year. Good grief. We're starting in third. I remember one time back in the day I was racing the regular Indy cars, like 2007 I think. And what happened was my engine just started smoking. No. I think I was like 108 laps out of 200 in, and my engine just kept revving and it would not go anywhere. And this is before I had my wheels, so it was even more strange. Back in the day, before I built my gaming computer and everything, I used a Toshiba satellite laptop computer and DS3 and a blue PS3 controller to steer my car just by tilting the... Oh dear, big crash. Oh dear, oh dear. How bad is it? It's real bad. Oh dear. Restart. I do kind of want to see what happened because that was a extreme wreck. Oh my. Someone just went flying. That was a target car. That was Dixon, I think. Scott Dixon. Oh my. So, once again, wheels lock in, and then just a sharp turn up, and it sends Dixon into the wall. Look at the, just, oh my. And then I'm just trying to avoid it as best as I can, and I unfortunately snuck right under and just back and plowed the 21. Alright, last attempt. Last attempt. This one has got to go better. And you know what? I think I'm just going to hold back the first 3 laps. Because I think we're just going to crash always on the first... within the first 5 laps. It's just going to happen. The AI are programmed to be aggressive as hell, but... there's got to be a way that they will do better. Just take it a little bit calmer this time around. Wow, if I wreck again, this is sad because it's 2 weeks in a row that I've done a live stream and I've wrecked an Indy car. Well, I can certainly say this, even just getting in AI practice like this, you know, any upcoming Indy things with NR, I'm definitely excited for. Definitely if it's an open setup though, I'm kind of gypped. There's got to be a way, there has to be a way to understand how to control these cars and how to tune them, especially. And without a doubt, especially if there is an Indy 500 or Indy Car Series or whatever, I'm not doing it solo anymore. I want to join a team. Because if there is someone who's like a mechanic and a whiz who knows the guts of these cars, they can be able to transfer it on to me. They can give me a better handling setup. I'm pretty vocal with how I know or how the car feels, and they can help me adjust accordingly. And definitely I could be in contention to win a race. Whether it's at Indianapolis or whether it's if it's a full league at, you know, something like Michigan or California or anywhere else. Up to 3rd, bump up to 4th. Bumped up to 5th. Already they're making moves that are kind of dangerous. Okay, clean down the backstretch thus far. Bump up to 6th. The question is are we going to start to overheat? It's creeping. It's creeping. Oh, it's not just creeping. Ah, there we go.
Let's go. Race back to the line. Pit road is closed. We got a wreck.
Looks like a minor wreck for the most part.
You got a slow car down low.
That time we reacted right.
Hey, we're under caution. Catch up to
We let out of the gas, we just gently, like half pressed on the brake.
stay behind. 98 car.
Had a big frame drop there.
There's a spin on the front straight.
Alright, I have a feeling the AI is going to pit, so I think I'm going to pit too. Let's see here.
Spin on the front straight. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Slow down.
Have to press on the brake.
Pass the 18 car.
Let's see here. Grill tape. Let's drop that down to 55. No, I'm going to make it a minor change. Let's drop it from 65 to 60. Because I'm wondering, even with a 10% drop in the last attempt, in the first attempt, it just swung loose. So it probably lost a good bit of front down for us. Okay, that was an AI. That was a dumb AI. Stupid. So stupid. I did not do anything wrong.
Pass the 18 car. Looks like we're bent up on the back end.
Alright, time to do some repairs then. Dang it.
Now open. Keep it under 55. Keep it under 4,000 in seconds. The pace cars in turn 1. The pace cars in the south chute. The pace cars in turn 2. We're going to take off some tape. The pace cars on the back straight.
They bent the rear wing. Shoot. Hopefully it doesn't affect the engine.
Go! Limit 55. Keep it under 4,000 in seconds. The pace cars in turn 3. 2 minute 24.701. The pace cars in the north chute. Okay, you're clear of pit lane. Stay behind the 98 car.
That bump at low speeds is within reason, I guess.
Okay, merge when you can.
The bump wiggles you out.
We're going green next time by. Line up, single file.
Okay, back end just started to twitch bad, and that was at low speed. Maybe because new tires that they just can't grip? I don't know. Where is everyone? Oh, I think they're in turn 1. Yeah, I'm only 4.
Minute 11.2.
I'm closing in, so they're close. So thankfully, no one got knocked out of that in the wreck. Just looked like a simple spin, some damage, and that's about it. Alright, so let's see here. We're only on... I can't see the whole laps, but got 197 to go. There's a lot. Kind of wonder. I think it's Ganassi. Ganassi, I think, switched over to Chevrolet this year. So I kind of wonder how they're gonna do. Chevy kind of seemed, except for the years when Honda was the only manufacturer in IndyCar, engine manufacturer. Definitely, I can say that Chevy's done pretty good in their attempts in the 500. I know that I think Rossi drives. Yeah, Rossi raced a Honda engine last year. Andretti Autosport is still a Honda engine team, and they're pretty good. I think the big teams like, oh come on, Brabham. Brabham's got damage and he's holding us up. I'm letting the 88 go. I'm not making a move on Matt Brabham just for him to take me out. Not yet, at least. Okay, we're clear. Alright, we can get behind Brian Clausen and we can draft with him. Back end just still feels twitchy. It's wiggly. Doesn't feel 100% right. And we got one car coming into the pits, probably with damage. I think that's Pippa Man. It was Connor Daly. Oh, hit the wrong button. Just trying to switch back over to position and everything. Alright. So we're in the tire tracks of Clausen. I'm not gonna push it that hard. I'm just gonna coast it. Whatever's ahead of me, I just want to avoid.
You got one stopped up ahead. Pit road is closed.
Alright.
Okay, we're under caution. Catch up to the end of the pacer line. 50.704. Stay behind the 88 car. Whoa, slow down.
There was just debris all over, littering turn 1. I am looking in my mirrors, my side mirrors, all over to see if someone's gonna plow me.
That's the 61 car.
Well, let Clausen get by first, and then I'll pass the 61. Okay, hold your britches. Alright, now, the grand question is, I don't think that the minor, well, pretty bad contact, really. Okay, I don't know, I hate to say this, I don't know what the track bar does. I don't know if increasing or decreasing the tightness and looseness of the track bar is going to help us, but I don't want to mess with that. Water temperature.
Pit road is now open.
I wanted to pit that lap. I was just going too fast. So I will pit next time by. Do we need any repairs? No. We're not in the case where we need repairs. Tire pressure, I don't want to really mess with much.
Whoa, slow down.
Fuel, we're always gonna top off. Until it becomes an issue where we really do need to shortchange our fuel some, then okay, whatever. But it's not an issue now. Right now, you fill it up and you go. So we got a projected 23 laps on fuel. Grill tape is okay. I can only adjust the wedge and track bar. That's the only thing I can do. And problem is I fear if I adjust the wedge, you know what? I will adjust it a tiny bit. I'm gonna take it like half a pound of wedge. Because having it a little bit tighter might make us not feel as slippery in the back end. I'm kind of wondering if it's also not just that, but I'm pondering if it's also just cold tires that are kind of hurting us.
The pace cars on the front straight.
So I'm going to make my pit stop now. I'm going to go for new tires just because it doesn't hurt. We are not on a limit. We have an...
Some wedge.
Alright, let's hope... I hope that this is the right decision. I really, really do.
The pace cars in turn one.
And we're not going to go green this time, so that's where we're in luck.
Go, go, go! Keep it under 55. Keep it under 4,000. In second, the pace cars in the south chute. Watch that speed now. Keep it on.
Not getting a penalty for something this stupid.
In turn two.
So we'll just hold it at fourth and I coast it in.
4, 3, the pace cars on the back straight.
There we go.
Clear of pit lane. Stay behind the 98 car.
I really do wonder, just with kind of the big news, I wonder how Fernando Alonso is going to do in the 500. I want him to do well. I think it'd be cool to hear him do well. I don't think he's going to win. I really, really doubt he's going to win the event in his very first attempt. But we've seen crazier things. I mean, Rossi won last year, so I didn't expect that we'd be seeing a rookie win. What's interesting, especially about Rossi, is he is the last American since Sam Hornish Jr. to win the 500. No, I take that back. I'm very, very sorry. Ryan Hunter-Reay. Hunter-Reay won the 500, and he is American, and that was like in 2012, I think. No, 2013. 2013. That was it. The last American champion, I believe, was Hornish.
Stand by. Okay, we're on the lead lap. Stay on the outside line.
Yeah, that sounds right.
98 car on the outside line. 1 minute 34.522.
So we have a projected 27 laps of fuel. We've managed to miss 2 cautions thus far. We've gotten farther this time, thank God. Alright. Let's see here. What do the gauges tell us? It says that we're fine for the most part. I think once we get in the draft, that's really just where the water pressure or water temperature just rises. And that does not leave me happy. So what we're battling is a back end loose car and keeping the water temperature down. Man, what a long day.
Get ready now. Going green. 8 cars in. Green, green, green.
So you got, yeah, Matt Brabham again, slowing everyone up. Up to 5th. Okay, that feels a little bit better. Knee wedge is actually what we needed. We cannot adjust the spoiler, otherwise the rear wing really, and then the front wing either. We can't change that, but we can change the wedge. We can change the track bar. Hopefully when I slingshot by Rossi, it's clean, which it is. There we go, now we got some green flag racing. So we got Connor Daly in front of us, though he's a lap down. And we got 38.6 seconds behind Stefan Wilson and Ed Carpenter. And we're clicking away just a little bit. I think we might be a little bit faster than them in the turns. Maybe that middle groove is actually what can get us to arc through the corners better. I'm gonna try it for a few laps, see how it feels. Because the car is still a little loose, but it's not as bad as it was. We're faster. We're very much faster. And I feel a lot more in control. So hey, I think I learned something. I think I actually learned how to just slightly tweak a car with what limited things I can do in race, which is awesome. That makes me happy. So I'm having to give it some strange input. Like it fits well for most of the corner, but like in turn one especially, it just gets weird. Alright, so we're going to shoot to the inside, clear move there. Draft, shoot to the inside, clear move there. Drop out, back down to 5th. We're doing better. I'm glad. I cannot tell you how happy I am now. I mean, we're still in the back half of the field, which sucks, and we're 10 seconds behind the leader, but we're not. If we continue at this pace and we continue to stay green, I don't think we're going to be able to get up into the lead, but I think we can get at least in the top 15, and if we can remain this consistent, we may be able to do just pretty well. So we got 16 laps of fuel, roughly. This is so much better. This is so nice. Ah, this feels good. I'm still nervous somewhat, but I feel the car just is more responsive. I can push it. I can really push it and not have to worry too much about the back end just sliding out or it just all of a sudden snapping tight. And thankfully, let's check. Water temp's kind of high. I think the best thing to do really is like, if we are going to get in the draft, stay in it for only a few seconds and make the slingshot move as quick as we can. Because if it's just going to arc that temperature gauge up, that's not going to be good. I'm just going to keep an eye on it for a lap or two here. We're close enough within striking distance to the driver ahead. I'm going to wait. There we go, made the move. Clean. I don't think we hit Gabby Chavez, so I think we're good. It's it's stuck like right in the middle, which I don't exactly feel comfortable with. So one Montoya's in the lead. Let's just drop it back here. Alright, with the upcoming turns ahead, we got a pack of cars. I'm just going to go slow, pick them off one at a time. If I can get down the backstretch and just end up being faster than them, then I'll make some real quick, decisive moves, but I want to take it slow. I really don't want to wreck. No. Hold off. Hold off. Had to back out of the throttle there and almost lost it. Who is in the 77? Oil Servia. Just grab him on the outside. Okay, I'm still in 6th. When to make a move. I guess I gotta make a move now. That was not what I wanted to do. Stupid 35. Get out of the way. It's cooled down. That's good. And we do have to worry about a green flag pit stop. That's the one thing that kind of sucks. Alright, I'm making my move now. I'm getting down to the inside, and I'm going to try and see if I can shoot by Oil Servia as well. I'm keeping it. I'm not letting out. We did it. That was perfect. Oh, thank God. Okay, Max Chilton in the 8. I almost want to say it's like an Ganassi car, but I don't remember. Got 12 laps remaining on fuel. I think that was minor. And that's it. That's it. I got way too aggressive there. Shoot. That sucks. What I want to see here, what I exactly did wrong. So I did lightly brush Chilton and we just collided. And then I got hit by Servia and that killed both our engines. Alright. It's gonna be that. So alright. Well, sorry for another bad night, guys. I hate that. I really, really hate that. And I wish my spotter just let me know, hey, guy still to the inside, idiot. Alright, that's clear. I have a feeling that Hildebrand's going to win again. Hinchcliffe. Marco Andretti. Ooh, Hinchcliffe retired. Interesting. We got farther. I mean, it sucks that happened. It really, really does. What I can gladly say is at least up until the crash that the car felt better. I'm happy in that regard. Wasn't perfect, but it was much more manageable. It's something I could hold on to and get through. And there's a lot of yellows. No 7, 110, 115. Marco Andretti seems like he's going to win this. And 140. Andretti still leads. At this point, Andretti probably would win the event over by a lap. And 20 to go. Yellow. That's going to regroup the entire field. Green once again. Andretti and Castanieves battling it out. Andretti wins. Okay, guys, that's going to wrap it up for tonight. That's going to wrap it up for tonight. It sucks that all that happened. I really, really wanted to run a full 200 lap distance. I guess I'm not used to running full distances for one, and I'm expecting to be very, very quick in my movements. Because there's not a lot of time in most races that I run. There's only like, say, 30 laps or so. But definitely, like, if there's an Indy 500 or so, for NR or anything else like that, I guess like the two biggest things I can draw from this is I do have the ability to adjust my car to my liking, and I sort of know what to do. And in addition, it also gives me thought on if I really want to race an Indy 500, full 500 miles and everything, I got to be more patient, and that's something that's learned. So yeah, that's going to be it for this episode, guys. To anyone that watched, I apologize, and to those that may see this in the future, sorry for what you're going to see. So good night, everyone, and I'll see you guys later.